13 months after our first WGN Investigates report on questionable spending by South Suburban politician Tiffany Henyard, it appears she has been forced off the ballot.
Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, who was appointed to that position tonight, lost her bid for the Democratic Party's nomination in this rarely used.
Tiffany Henyard, the embattled mayor of Dalton, Illinois, and Thornton Township supervisor, is once again at the center of a political storm. However, this time, the drama surrounding her career has reached new heights. Henyard lost the Democratic nomination for Thornton Township supervisor in a rare caucus orchestrated by her political rival, State Senator Napoleon Harris. What followed was a whirlwind of accusations, legal threats, and corruption allegations, all highlighting the chaotic nature of her political journey. It now appears that if Henyard wants to run for supervisor again, it will have to be as a write-in candidate. The events began at the Homewood Flossmoor Park District Auditorium, where a Democratic Party caucus was held to determine nominees for various Thornton Township positions, including the highly coveted supervisor role. The atmosphere was electric, with hundreds of people braving the cold to cast their votes. Henyard, who had been appointed supervisor after the death of Frank Zuccarelli, was hoping to secure her place on the ballot. But things quickly took a turn for the worse.
It now appears if she wants to run for supervisor again, it will have to be as a write-in candidate.
Supervisor Tiffany Henyard's name was disqualified from the ballot due to a technicality. She failed to meet the requirement of having a full slate of candidates for all township roles. Specifically, her ticket was missing a certified assessor, which rendered her slate incomplete and invalid under caucus rules. Napoleon Harris, who serves as both state senator and Thornton Township Democratic committeeman, seized the opportunity with his own slate fully intact. Harris easily secured the nomination for supervisor, leaving Henyard sidelined and furious. "You didn't run any of this the right way," Henyard reportedly shouted at Harris after the results were announced, accusing him of illegal actions. Her frustration was palpable, and her supporters echoed her claims of unfairness. Many alleged that Henyard's backers were intentionally excluded from the process, pointing to buses carrying her voters that arrived late, leaving them stuck outside the auditorium. Those who managed to get inside were met with a room that could only hold 600 people, leaving many feeling disenfranchised. "This is a prime example of puppet masters trying to control the narrative," Henyard said, describing the chaotic caucus. It lasted only 7 minutes, with a simple voice vote determining the nominees. Harris's supporters, who had been pre-registered, were ushered into the auditorium early to ensure their participation. Meanwhile, Henyard's camp claimed they were kept in the dark about key rules and procedures until the very last minute. Henyard's attorney, Max Solomon, argued that the process was rigged, accusing Harris of manipulating the system to block Henyard's chances.
"This is my prime example of people that's puppet masters trying to control the narrative."
Harris, however, dismissed the allegations, confidently asserting that the process was followed and that the outcome was as it was meant to be. He defended the use of the caucus, acknowledging that while it might be unfamiliar to some in Thornton Township, it is a common practice in other parts of Illinois. People in Thornton Township may be new to caucuses because they haven't had them in a while, but this has been the tradition for many other townships around the state, Harris explained.
"It should have been a primary. It always has been in the history of Thornton Township. Always 10,000 residents come and vote for township government."
As the dust settled, Henyard's options became limited. With her name removed from the Democratic ballot, her only paths forward were to run as an independent or launch a write-in campaign. Despite the setback, she remained defiant.
"Because they can't beat me. If they could beat me, they would have went to the polls. But now when I bring the people out, you don't let them in?"
One of Henyard's allies, Keith Price, expressed confidence in her ability to still win. "I think enough people know her name to write it in," he said optimistically. However, the fallout from the caucus was just the tip of the iceberg for Henyard. Her political career has been plagued by a series of controversies and scandals, drawing intense scrutiny from both the public and the media. Allegations of lavish spending, corruption, and abrasive leadership have followed her throughout her tenure as mayor of Dolton and supervisor of Thornton Township. Reports have surfaced accusing Henyard of using taxpayer money for expensive trips, meals, and even personal styling services. In one instance, it was revealed that she used a village credit card to spend over $43,000 on Amazon in a single day.
There are perception issues with it that are right to get attention. Will the court look at those perception issues? Probably not, but the voters certainly should.
Henyard's financial management of Dolton has also come under intense scrutiny. A preliminary investigation led by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot revealed that Dolton's general fund balance had plummeted from over $5 million in 2022 to a deficit of more than $3 million by mid-2024. The investigation uncovered questionable expenditures, including excessive overtime pay for police officers and the misappropriation of funds for personal use. Critics have labeled her leadership as a stain on the community, with some even dubbing her the worst mayor in America. And adding to her troubles, Henyard has faced allegations of politically motivated retaliation against her opponents. Several local businesses have accused her of using Dolton's police force to conduct unnecessary raids and revoke licenses as a form of punishment. One business owner who claimed to have been targeted after refusing to donate to a civic event sponsored by Henyard described the experience as harassment. Additionally, the mayor's use of police officers as her personal security detail has raised concerns, with critics arguing that it diverts vital resources away from public safety.
I've said for a while, it's like, grassroots. It was organic when a lot of this things started at the township, where the people were, just showing their displeasure.
Henyard's response to these allegations has been unapologetically defiant. At a recent Dolton Village board meeting, she boldly declared, "Like it or not, I am your mayor," vowing to win re-election in a landslide. However, her confidence has done little to ease the growing discontent among her constituents. Many residents have expressed frustration with her leadership, citing her abrasive demeanor and lack of transparency. During one meeting, attendees turned their backs on her as she spoke, serving as a stark visual representation of the widening divide between Henyard and the community she serves.
New at 10 tonight, renewed calls for a change at the top in South Suburban Dolton.
Of course, we are talking about Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
The growing discontent has also sparked heated debates among Dolton trustees, many of whom have publicly clashed with Henyard over her leadership style and spending habits. Trustee Jason House, who is also running for mayor, has been one of her most vocal critics. He has emphasized the need for greater transparency in local government, pointing to Henyard's repeated refusal to share financial records with the board. Henyard's polarizing leadership has also led to unusual alliances among her opponents. Trustees who were once divided by political rivalries have reportedly come together to launch new accountability measures aimed at limiting her power. One such initiative is an ordinance that would require village credit card statements to be reviewed monthly by an independent auditor. Although Henyard has dismissed these efforts as petty distractions, the move has gained significant support among community members eager for a change in leadership.
We are awaiting Mayor Henyard to arrive. We'll give another 5 minutes.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard delayed the meeting with no explanation.
Meanwhile, the ripple effects of Henyard's controversies are being felt beyond Dolton. Thornton Township, which she also oversees as supervisor, has seen mounting criticism from residents who claim her dual roles are creating a governance bottleneck. "She's spread too thin," said one resident who attended a canceled township meeting last week. "How can she effectively lead two governments when both are in complete disarray?" Critics argue that her inability to balance responsibilities is contributing to dysfunction in both Dolton and Thornton Township, further alienating her from the communities she was elected to serve. The controversies surrounding Henyard have also extended to her personal life. Reports have surfaced that she and her partner, Kamal Woods, are facing eviction from their rented home for failing to pay rent since August. Their landlord has accused them of changing the locks and refusing to communicate, leaving her thousands of dollars in arrears. The irony of a public official earning nearly $300,000 annually struggling to pay rent has not been lost on Henyard's critics.
2025 And clock is ticking. Clock is ticking.
Despite these challenges, Henyard continues to project an air of confidence. She has promised to fight back against what she sees as a coordinated effort to undermine her political career. In a recent Facebook video, she vowed to speak the truth and expose the alleged misdeeds of her opponents. "Why do we have all this attention on Tiffany Henyard?" she asked rhetorically. "What the hell are they doing that they don't want us to know about?" Her defiance has drawn mixed reactions from the public. While some supporters admire her resilience, others view her as a symbol of everything wrong with local politics. One commenter summed up the sentiment of many, saying, "That woman needs to be arrested and her assets seized before she is put in prison for life." Another, less sympathetic, wrote, "She didn't get a chance to speak. What's left to say?" By Felicia Hathaway's Henyard navigates the fallout from her latest political defeat, the question of her future remains uncertain. Will she succeed in mounting a write-in campaign for Thornton Township's supervisor? Can she hold on to her position as mayor of Dolton amid mounting scandals and investigations? Or will the weight of her controversies finally bring an end to her political career? For now, one thing is clear: Tiffany Henyard is not going down without a fight. Whether her defiance will lead to redemption or further downfall remains to be seen. What do you think? Is Henyard a victim of political sabotage? Or is she simply reaping the consequences of her actions? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and stay tuned for more updates on this unfolding drama.